Hey everyone, Alex here. I've been coding in Java for more than 15 years now, and trust me, I've seen it all from perfect architectures to complete disasters. This is my first video on this channel, and I wanted to kick things off by sharing 10 habits that change the way I write the code. These aren't just rules, they are the essentials for building clean, professional, and actually maintainable apps. Let's dive right in. Always use final. Keep it immutable by default. It just removes so many potential bugs before they even happen. Dependency injection by constructor. Stick to constructors. It's cleaner, it's safer, and your test will thank you later. Repositories don't link. Don't let your database entities wander around the whole app. Keep them behind the service layer. Use records for API requests and responses. Seriously, use records for DTOs. They are built for this, and they make your API contract crystal clean. Effective use of optional. Stop checking for nulls every 2 lines. Use optional to handle empty data like a pro. Meaningful names. Spend that extra 10 seconds to find a good name. If the code explains itself, you don't need docs. Configuration over hard coding. Move your business rules to config files. Hard coding is for amateurs. Flexibility is for seniors. Single, single responsibility in services. Don't build God services. Split your logic into processors and converters to keep it manageable. Testing the right layer. Test smart. Use unit tests for logic and integration tests for big picture. Error handling with controller advice. Clean up your controllers. Centralize your error handling and keep your API responses consistent. In order to explain you how to use these habits, I created a simple orders project that manage orders like Amazon store. So we have two tables, orders and order items. In orders we have ID, total amount like cart in Amazon store, order date, secret discount code, client IP address, and status. Total amount is what user inputs here, and we want to show it for him. But client IP address is something that system calculated internally, and user didn't provide it. So we don't want to show it to the user back there when he want to know the order's value. The same as discount code. Discount code, it's something that the system calculates like season of code or something like this. So both these fields, secret discount code and client IP address, we don't want to show to the customer. Also, we have a field status that signal the status of the record. Order item, it's specific items that you bought. For example, you can bought mechanical keyboard, one mechanical keyboard for $10, for example. Gaming mouse, one gaming mouse for $15, and mousepad, three mousepads for $15. Also, each product item linked to its order. So you see order ID column here. So order with order item creates a one-to-many relationship. Each order item has only one or zero orders, and the order can have number of order items. And the last thing I want to show you before we dive into the code is the API our project expose. This is the REST API for get all, get order by ID, get order item, and process order. So let's see it. Get all orders. You just provide slash orders without any parameters, and you see the parameters as ID, order date, and total amount. Please pay attention that we don't expose client IP address and secret discount properties as these are inner system calculated properties. Get order by ID. So we need to provide order ID here. Here is the one. And when we hit it, we see order ID, order date, total amount of 150. Still, we don't expose the private properties, and we expose items in like name and total. Name gaming mouse, total 50, and name mechanical keyboard and total 100. We don't see here how many mouses or keyboards we bought, just summary information. And if we want to do it, so we need to call get order item. Here we need to provide besides the order ID also the name of the product, like gaming mouse. And now we can see that gaming mouse with price of 50, we have only one amount of it. But what if we provide the wrong name of the product? We can misspell it or put exactly wrong one. Let's say we want to know what about laptop product in our order number one. There is no order, there is no product name laptop, so we see the well-organized error message with message no order item found with order ID equals 1, product name laptop with error code and timestamp. This is very important that we do not throw some exception to the caller. And also please pay attention that in get order item, when the response code is 200, okay, we return name, amount, and price. On the other hand, when response code is 404, not found, we provide completely different object, like with message, error code, and timestamp. This must be part of a contract between backend and front-end teams. Next one will be process order. So in process order, we just want to process a specific order. We want to calculate how exactly price will be with all discounts we have based on IP location. So we have post here, not getting, and in post we provide just order ID. So when we send it, we receive truth. That means okay. But when we go to our tables, we status new both of them. When we refresh it, we see the status for order one changed for priority processed. That means that order amount was calculated and secret deal taken in account when calculating total price. Now let's dive into the code. Here my Spring Boot project, and this is order controller. Order controller is actually a entry point for my for the API for REST API. So it defines REST API endpoints like API slash orders with get all, order by ID with order ID as parameter, order item with order ID and product name as parameters also, and process order. This is post mapping that received actually the order ID with the process order request object. Okay, the main purpose of this class is to be endpoint before my project. So it just receives the API calls and delegates it to the services that process it, like order service for database services like get all, get order, get item, and order processor for processing orders. So order controller has one purpose. It's here for single responsibility in services. Only one responsibility for this class. Also, let's see the class again. We have two services, order service and processor, that it markets its finals. So marking its finals make me to initialize it and to initialize it only once. So always use finals is the first habit. And in order to initialize it once, I need to create constructor. Here it is. It receives order service and order processor in constructor. So dependency injection by constructor, habit number two. Also, I use I use records for response for get order. There is record order response record. Get get order item also I use order item response record for responses, and I use also process order request record as the object wrapping order ID to receive parameter in post. And the get order item request here is order that receives order ID and product name as parameters. I use model attribute Spring attribute that helps me to gather all parameters I receive in path, like order ID and product name. Instead of put it here, two with commas, I just create one record or class with the same names. I can use also notations with another names, and I use it as one object. So what we have in this class, we have always use final habit, dependency injection by constructor habit. We use records for API requests and responses. By the way, in records, all parameters are finals, so it's like always use finals also. Meaning name, as I said, controller deals with orders, so it's named order controller. Method called getAll that receives all, getOrder that returns order, and getOrder item that fetches order item. Process order is actually processing it, so meaningful naming also present here. And that's it with this class. If you think that this class have more than one responsibility, please notice me in the comment section. So let's dive in and see what order service bring us. So order service is actually class that responsible for the working with database, with fetching and fetching our order and order items. So in this class, I also define this repository, these services or resources like finals. He uses order repository for repository issues. I can show this very simple. It's order repository extend GPA repository with order and long as defined as ID. With the method find all orders, I can show you order. It's have ID, total amount, order date, set of order items. It's one-to-many relationship. We have secret discount code, client IP address, and status, as we saw in databases. So actually, order repositories, it's our bridge to databases, and order converters that converts order entity to DTO record that we want to return with hiding some details that don't want to expose, like a secret discount code and the client IP address. So let's check on this class and see what habits I used here. So order repository and order vendors are finals. This is our first habit as previous one. Because they final, I need to initialize in the constructor, so I need to define constructor to create them. Here it is. This is the dependency injection. In my case, I use optional here because fetch because mm, 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 here I think, yeah, I think here I use optional with order stream API that actually creates optional, so I use it here. Also here is the order one. Find by ID is actually optional, so I use it like this with a simple construction find by ID or else throw exception. This construction maybe throw exception if no item is found, that will processing later, and if item found, I just return it. So fetch order using optional, and it's used in find by ID and get order items initially. Single responsibility in services also, as I told you, order service working only in with databases, not working with processing orders, just fetching data from databases. Also, repositories don't leak. Repositories don't leak here. As we see, we don't return order. For example, in find all orders, we don't return list of orders, but we return list of order summary response. That each one has order ID, order date, and total amount. Short summary about your order. So to do it, we use converters. We have another service called order converters that also we use only to convert an object. Also single responsibility, remind you. Have methods that receive order and order item and return records for this, like convert to order response, return converts order to order response. That is record, remind you. Convert to order summary response, return earned record, return order summary response from order, ID, order item, total amount, and for order item we have also two responses. Order the item response. Here we return only name and total, and for order item response we have name, amount, and price. So our our order servers never return order. Find all orders, return order summary response. Find by ID, return order response. Fetch order, return order actually, and order item, return order item response. So here we saw the set habit repository don't leak. Also this class return records. So for habits also used here. Effective use of optional you said there. Meaningful naming also. Get order item, return order item. Fetch order, return order. Find by ID, providing ID, return order, and find all orders, also return all orders. Meaningful naming. Single responsibility services I mentioned here, it's only deals with the databasing. If you think it has more than one responsibility, please write down the comment here. We will discuss it. And that's it about this class. So I showed you order repository, order converters, and let's see another class of order processor. Yeah. Here, order processor. This class will process order uh, and let's see it. Okay, so the same pattern, I have final resources here as order properties and order service. And because I have final resources, I need to create constructor to initialize them. So always use final and dependency injection by constructor I use here also. Now, this class will show you the configuration over hard coding. So I have order properties. I have a properties file here. I will show you uh, here. And this file, beside defining the GDBC and DB, defines the restricted codes as a secret deal, admin gift, and internal test. So I can modify this file only and don't need to rerun my application, recompile my application again. How I use it, I define class order properties that I annotated with configuration properties with prefix order. So you see that there is order here. So I use this prefix and restricted codes just injected as a list of codes. So process order method, I marked it as transactional because it actually will modify the order identity. It received long order ID. Now I use final also to mark parameter final, so I do I won't changes uninternally. This is why I make final here. So use final here is the initial purpose. So if I will by mistake change it in code, try to change it by code, compiler will ELN me. So I just fetch order here using order service as I showed before, and I call process order that takes a list of these codes and check if discount from the order is actually in restricted one. Even restricted is processed with this method, else processed in another method that just change status to priority processed or priority or processed. So, so in this way, I use in configuration over hard coding. Hard coding, the simplest way was to define here final list string of these codes, but each time I want to modify it, I need to recompile the code. So this is the best practice here. Now, I want to talk about errors actually. So we saw order uh, in order service that I'm throwing exception here, order not found exception. So which class processing it, or order item not found exception. For centralized exception handling, I defined special class that I called global exception handler. Global exception handler. It have annotation of controller device and order one, so it's loaded fast. This class define bunch of methods that marked as exception handler with the class of the exception it will proceed work on. So we have here exception handler of order not found exception, exception handler of order item not found exception, and exception and general exception like handle general exception I needed for H2 database. So let's see what is doing. It's received the exception like this, and it's create error response. This is my record class that have message, error code, and timestamp. So each time I receive any type of message, I wrap it on error response and return it as entity with HTTP status not found because it's order not found or order item not found exception. Each time, so for each case, I can provide different error code like order not found here for order not found exception and order item not found here for order item not found exception. HTTP status, and I also can use and handle general exception with the if it's some general exception, so I deal with it. So in my case, I also use error with messages that internal server error occurred. I don't know what happened and just returned with HTTP status internal server error. So in that way, my code, my code, my code mm, will return also fine-grained error response also, no stack traces, so I can provide this info for the for the client team so they can prepare the code for this. Uh, this is what about error handling with controller devices, and let's talk about testing. Testing is also a very important part of the application because good testing make us safe that our code is good. So we have two types of tests. There are let's see on it. Sorry, here we have integration test and we have logic test. So we see here here we see I think uh, let's check it. It's order service test. We have order repository and order service. Should fetch order and delegate to processor. So we have order ID and order, and we define mock that return some value. And we want to check that when we call fetch order, it's It must call the repository object. So here we want to check logics that when we call some method, are there also this called. We use mocking for mocking classes that we don't need, so we don't use database here. And in order processor test, we have logic test. So we want to check order processor. We have order processor as a object. We will initialize it here, and order service that we mock in this service, so we don't need a database. We initialize it here by initialized order properties, hard to code it like this. So order processor we just created using our constructor. It's also helpful for test. So we have constructor with another implementations of order properties and the order service. And here should set priority status when code is restricted. So we can check what will be priority status based on the code. So we create the order with some ID, and the secret discount is secret deal. Secret deal is one of the uh, priority deals. So we define here mocking when I want order service fetch order, so return order to not go into database. So I call order processor process order that will return this order, and then I want and this return this order and must change status of this order to priority processed because serial deal also in this list. So I need to check that order status is priority processed. The same way, when I have order with secret discount is regular code that is not present here, you see, I will, with the same order, I want to check that the order status will be only processed. So integration test like this one, the checks flow, and the logic test, this one, the check logics are very important, so we can check logic or process or integration flow without actually using our resources. That's so this is my short example that show you all the habits. Let's check it again. Always use finals, dependency injection by constructor, repositories don't leak, use records for API requests and responses, effective use of optional, meaningful naming, configuration over hard coding, single responsibility in services, testing the right layer, we just saw the test here, and error handling in controller advices. That's it for today. We've gone through all 10 habits from simple things like using finals to architecture patterns like proper service layers. These habits have helped me throughout my 15 years career and I hope they will help you too. If you found this useful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Java insights. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.